Well, hello everyone, this is Amber and today is 10 Minute Tuesday again. I get all of your questions from the comments of my videos, and so I try to go through as many questions as I possibly can in 10 minutes. All right guys, let's get started. Thank you so much for joining me in this video where I answer your burning questions about van life and RV life and being a nomad on the road. So let's put 10 minutes up on the clock and let's get started. So the first question is from Jackie OO. She says, I know you have a Heimer now, but would you consider a Class C or only a truck camper? Jackie, I would actually consider both. I've been leaning towards a truck camper just because of the space, but a lot of Class Cs have some really good space as well. In particular, I really like what's out right now with the new Winnebago Echo. I'd love to actually go see one in person. I've only seen reviews online, but it looks pretty cool. And it looks like they fixed a lot of the things that were wrong in my van and just upgraded it and made it really super nice in there and very, very functional with some added storage space that you can access from outside that kind of goes underneath the bed. So I really, really like that. But I don't know, I like both of them and it's a big toss-up for sure. So the next question is from Mesha and she says, do you find that the van is more or less of a challenge to keep a safe temperature for Lily compared to the Class C while you're away from the vehicle? Let's see, Mesha, I think actually the van is better for it, to be honest. And I think that's only because of some of the things that they installed, which was the skylight here, which actually helps to keep it cooler in here because, as you know, heat rises. So if I open that up, I can let all that hot air out that way. I also have the fantastic fan in the bathroom, and that will actually help to circulate the air through here, the airflow. So the fan is set to pull air out, so it's just this nice constant flow of air through here. I also have the side windows where I can pop them out just a little bit and lock them, so that creates even a cooler effect in here for Lily. So I think it's better in the van compared to my Class C, but if you had some of those things installed in your Class C, it's definitely doable. And really what it boils down to is just the design of it. So you could do those things in the Class C that I'm doing in the van and make it functional in the Class C. It doesn't really matter if it's a Class C or if it's a Class B. The next question is from Jackie Schneider. We had our first engine dead battery in our Class B. Fortunately, we were able to get a boost. Do you carry a quick boost unit for your van? And if yes, which one? We are seriously considering purchasing one. I actually do carry one. If you guys don't know what a quick boost is, it's basically just a little compact pack that allows you to charge it up prior to you ever needing to use it. Instead of having somebody take their vehicle over to your vehicle and attach jumper cables to jump your battery, you can do it yourself with this little compact booster. So yes, I absolutely suggest that everybody has one of those, especially because if you're like me and you're out boondocking on BLM land and national forest and you're out in remote places where sometimes there's not readily available people around, you're gonna need something to help yourself with. So yes, I absolutely suggest the booster, and I've linked the one that I use down below in the description of this video. Next question is from Nancy Skeen and she says, how do you determine how much battery life you have in your Heimer? Is there a range of volts and are they displayed, and how long can you go? So the Heimer actually does have a display of voltage. It's not really super scientific to tell you how much battery life you have left. I know that if it has anything below 13 volts on mine, it's starting to dwindle down. So it'll be like 12.98, 12.8, something like that. The least I've ever seen it go down to is 12.4, I think, something like that. And I know my batteries are pretty much gone after that. I really watch that number to make sure that I try to keep it above 13 if I can, especially if I'm going into the evening time where I might be running a fan and charging a few things. I will make sure that I'm above 13 before nighttime hits because I'm not getting any solar coming in from the sun into my van. So the battery life that I have there is exactly what I have for the entire entire evening and I don't want my battery to shut off. Again, not super scientific, but I've kind of gotten to know the system a little bit more to know where it's going to shut off on its own because the battery is dead. So that helps. I do not usually run my inverter at night. The inverter actually pulls the charge down on your batteries. It's a significant amount. Sometimes I've left that inverter on accidentally, and by the morning, my battery is completely dead. So I know this because I go to turn the lights on and they don't turn on. As far as how long can I go on my batteries, it's just really dependent on if I'm driving for the day, if I have a lot of solar coming in. But let's just say it has a full charge. I will probably be dead by the end of the evening because I use so much energy from cooking on my induction cooktop to charging my laptop, charging computer equipment. I mean, various things like that. It just sucks it dry. And I only have 250 watts of solar on top. So I would love to get more solar on top of the van if I could. It's a little bit challenging because of the equipment that's already up there, hence the skylight, the AC. I've thought about building a platform over all of that, and I can do that because I don't use the AC a lot. So I could build a platform where the AC could still pull in air. It could go over, we would cut it out so it goes around the skylight and around the fantastic fan, and I could actually get some more solar up there. But I don't have that yet, so we'll see. It's a work in progress still. I would absolutely suggest if you're looking at getting solar, if you're like me and you consume a lot of electricity from your devices, then I would definitely go with something that's more than 250 watts. Oh, and my batteries are 400 amp hours, so I have 2 batteries, 200 amp hours each. That's actually fine. It's just really that I need more solar power. The next question is from JA, and JA says, when choosing a spot, do you have to make sure that you're parked level? It's a very good question and something that we talk about in the RV world a lot. Before I get to your question, this is really dependent on your refrigerator. Now that might sound surprising to a lot of you. It was surprising to me when I first started out as well. There are some refrigerators that are called absorption method refrigerators. With the absorption method, it uses this gas flow system that allows the refrigerator to cool. And if you don't have your RV completely level, you have to check your owner's manual on this just to make sure, but usually it's 3%. So what that means is you cannot be off level by 3% in your RV in order for that absorption method process to work properly. If you're off more than that, you're at risk of damaging that system, which could lead to cracks. It could lead to that system failing, and that could be very, very problematic with that type of a system. So definitely want to make sure you're no more than 3% off level if you have an absorption method refrigerator. Now, if you have a compressor refrigerator like I do, it's not an issue. You can be off level as much as you want and it's not going to cause a problem. With that said, I don't like to really be off level, so I'll do it a little bit here and there. Because I've been doing this for so long, I don't even have anything to show me what the level is in here. I just kind of look behind me and I can eyeball it and see. And what I mean by that is I'll be driving and then I'll take a look behind me when I'm settled. I'll look behind me and go, okay, yep, looks like the counter's a little bit lower here, or maybe I'm going this way a little bit more, and then I'll adjust. And then my last thing is I get out of the van, I come around to the side door, open it up and check just to make sure. If I'm gonna be off level, I want the left side of my van, left side if I'm facing the driver's side, the cockpit, right? I want the left side of my van, the driver's side, to be higher than the passenger side. The reason why is because I sleep with my head on the driver's side, and I want my head to be higher than my feet. It feels a little bit awkward to have your feet, for some reason, higher than your head when you're sleeping. It just is weird. And then if you're off too much in the back, where you're up like this, where your butt's up, you kind of start rolling in your bed towards the front of the RV. So yeah, I try to keep it as level as possible, but sometimes it doesn't work completely well, and just depends on the spot you're in, and then you just deal with it. I do have leveling blocks. I didn't have those when I first started off in the van, but after a while, I think somebody gave me some leveling blocks that they were getting rid of, so I started using them every once in a while, but for the most part, I don't really use them. The next question is from Jackie OO. Why did you get rid of your Class C? The reason I got rid of the Class C, Jackie, was because I just wanted to be more nimble. My first year when I went RVing, I was on the East Coast. I traveled from the West Coast to the East Coast, and I got out there and it was just, you know, more people, less space to boondock in, and bridges were a little bit lower than I had seen on the West Coast, just because you're in a lot of older areas where bridges were built a long time ago. And so because of that, I just felt like I wanted to be able to park in a normal spot. I wanted to be able to urban camp a little bit more, stealth camp a little bit more, and not have to plan as much. With a Class C, I was having to plan a little bit more because I needed to make sure that my RV would fit to wherever I was going. And that means not just campsites or campgrounds or BLM land or any of those places, but I'm talking about just doing errands. So like going to the post office or going to the grocery store. So I'd look on Google Maps, satellite maps, and I could see the business around there and check it out and see like, okay, am I going to be able to get in there? Is there space maybe where I can park way off? Little things like that. But for me at the time, I just felt like that was my best option. I do miss the space a lot. It was pretty comfortable in there, and I miss having a shower. I had a dedicated shower. But again, there's trade-offs with every single RV you're gonna go with, and so you really need to understand what are the things that you can sacrifice, because there will be a sacrifice. For sure, no doubt. Write down your pros and cons. What are the things you absolutely must have? What are some of the things that like, oh, you could go either way? And then make a decision when you start looking for your perfect RV. Also guys, if you like this 10-minute Tuesday and you like how I'm teaching through these questions, then you might consider joining my Nomad Mentorship Bootcamp. You see my teaching style here. You might have taken my free budgeting course, which is also linked down in the description box. And that will show you my teaching style and what I can do to help you if you're trying to move into a nomadic life as well. I teach what's called the Create, Do, Live process. It's a process that I created based on my own experience, which takes you from this phase of, hey, this is my dream and this is what I'm thinking that I want to do, to an intention and to a goal, so that by the time you're done with your 8-week modules, you have a complete action plan ready to go. You also get mentored by me through live video calls and through our community that we've set up with our amazing students who also help to create this cool community and this cool system of networking, so that we can all talk about our fears, our concerns, and what RV should we buy, and what have you done in this situation. And so it's just a really supportive atmosphere. So if you're interested in being a nomad, click the link below to get started in the Nomad Mentorship Bootcamp, and I'll see you on our next live video call. The next question is from Laura Harris, and she's asking about my Berkey water filter. Does it use charcoal? Do you taste charcoal? I drink spring water but want to cut down on containers. So to answer your question, there are actually 4 filters on the Berkey. The first 2 are the main components, and I'm just going to read directly from their site, but it says it's made of a carbon compost containing high-grade coconut shell carbon combined with a proprietary blend of 5 other types of media. So it doesn't really specify what that is. But I will tell you, like, I'm very sensitive to taste, and I do not taste anything different about the water except that it tastes super clean and it just tastes really, really good. It definitely tastes better to me than some of the bottled water that you can purchase. The other 2 filters actually filter out other contaminants like fluoride and pesticides and other toxins. And so I really like those filters as well. I opted to have all 4 on there, and my water tastes fantastic. And I have used these filters for 3 years now. I feel like I can get about 5 years out of them, but it really just depends on how much water you actually consume. So I am in total favor of the Berkey, because you should see some of the water that I've gotten from well water, state parks, various things that comes out with green material in it or brown. It's pretty gross, but this Berkey filters all of it out of it, and I swear to you, you cannot taste a difference. And you can actually see those contaminants in the upper chamber of the Berkey that's left behind after it's filtered it, and there's nothing in the bottom container. Nothing. It's pretty incredible, actually. So the last question is from Car Jurassic. I didn't catch the brand of the hair care products that I was using. So what she's talking about is the hair care products that Debbie Seifert sent me as a cool gift. Again, thank you so much, Debbie, for that. But they're called Monet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's M-O-N M-O-N-A-T. I think I've heard it pronounced Monette before. It is hair care products that you buy through a distributor, and Debbie is one of those. She has commented a lot on my videos, so if you just look up Debbie Seifert, you should be able to find her and get in touch with her if you want something like this. My hair has gone through an amazing transition since I started using these products, and I was using them prior to Debbie even giving them to me. I just ran out and Debbie happened to contact me, and I was like, yeah, I would love that for sure. So yeah, a really incredible brand, really love it. I've been using them for a couple of years. When I first started using them, it took about 6 months for me to get what I felt like was a super healthy hair. Like my ends weren't frayed or frazzled looking anymore. And then what did I do? I messed the whole thing up. I went and bleached my hair and dyed it pink and purple, and I couldn't get the colors right, and I couldn't get them to stick, and I probably dyed my hair, I'm no joke, about 7 times, including the bleach, in the span of about 3 weeks. So I really damaged my hair, and I knew it wasn't right. I did it anyways. So I had to go through this whole process again of getting my hair back to a healthy state. So it's getting there. If you have any questions that you want answered, go ahead and leave them in the comments section below, and I will get to those in the next 10 Minute Tuesday. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.